weekly calls, weekly conversations with Global Goals World Cup teams. And yeah, I've heard a lot of great things about Team Green. So I'm looking forward to this conversation this evening for sure.
Sounds good, amazing.
I think which one of you will be the one that will give us a complete start of how did Team Green start?
I think Rauh is the best person to explain that.
Rauh is not joining though.
She's not?
She's not joining, no. I think Yusra can, because she's from the first Green team.
I can tell you how it was from my side of the story.
Of course, you can start, Yusra.
So basically, Rauh gave me a call and she told me we're forming this team. She explained what the criteria was to choose, and now first thought I had was, how are we gonna train together? Because I'm from one part of the city and some other players are from another part of the country. And then she explained to me that it's more than just playing soccer, and it's more of spreading awareness and everything that the competition had to do with. And that's how we started. We started campaigns in different parts of the countries, and then we all met and we played together and we came together as one team. We had a meeting in Riyadh and we got to know each other.
So you didn't know each other beforehand then?
Actually, no. Like I only knew one player, but the rest of the team, we all came together from different cities, which was amazing because we formed a sports relationship between different cities within the country.
Mm-hmm.
And until now, we're aligned, we're in contact, we host sports events together, and we work together towards like goals for our country. So it's amazing.
Fantastic. So everybody here on the call is from Team Greens, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, great. And how many of you are there in total?
I believe 15, like between 20 and 15.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Brilliant. And how long have you guys been a team together then? Just to give us a sense of how long you guys have been playing and working together.
Come again?
How long have you guys been a team? So when did it all start?
Go ahead, Maran, go ahead.
Okay, so it all started in, I believe, end of March. That's when we were nominated as leaders in our teams to participate in being in Team Green. They selected the nomination based on like, were you a leader? Can you influence your society and all of that? And then we met, as Yusra mentioned, in Riyadh to basically introduce each other and know each other as a team. And the relationship started, let's say, from April. That's when we got our mandate or the objective of Team Green, which is spreading awareness about the global goals in general, and the goal that we were assigned, which is goal number 15, which is life on land. And based on that, we went back to our cities, as Yusra mentioned. Each one of us went back to her city because we were from three different regions. So Saudi Arabia has 13, I believe, region. And we were from the main three regions. So we went back, and each one of us had a mission to spread awareness in her in her local community and society, in her own creative way, and that's it. So I would say officially it's April. That's when we met in Riyadh. Correct.
2018 for the first team. Yeah.
For the first Copenhagen. Yeah.
Fantastic. And so I'm hearing you're coming from different cities, different backgrounds. Would you mind sharing a little bit just about yourselves in your everyday lives? Are you working? Are you studying? Would you mind sharing a bit about yourselves?
Sure. For me, I think at that time I've already graduated. Was it May 2018?
Yes.
Okay, I was about to graduate from, or just freshly graduated from architecture school.
Mm-hmm.
I live in Jeddah, by the way.
Okay.
And I'm actually a basketball player.
Ah, okay.
And I started
She's a amazing goalkeeper.
yeah. And I started my basketball academy at 21 on my junior year.
Uh-huh.
And then that's when I had like a good amount of access to the society in Jeddah, and been able to influence a lot of the youth and the people my age. And here in Jeddah, our everyday lives is basically beach on the weekends and work and sports during weekdays. So that's it.
Sounds fantastic. Brilliant.
Marie, Marie, will you just check if there's somebody else that are waiting to get in?
No, I don't see anybody waiting.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So we have 4 of us. Lejane, you're here.
But do we know of somebody who should join us that I should be looking out for?
We are a total of 7 who are joining. So currently we are 6. Okay. So we have 1 more.
You're on mute, by the way.
Mayada, yes. She's still not here.
Okay.
So just to say that the idea with Clubhouse and Lucy, if you would give it away a little bit, just for all of you to understand that over times that we have already been talking to some teams and we'll keep talking to teams in a sense to also for all of you to get an idea about who each others are. So now we talk, but then we will show the films to some of the other teams as well, so they get a sense of you.
Okay. So I'll go next.
Yeah.
Sure. Who wants to go next?
Yeah, let's do the quick introductions. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm from the Eastern Province, from Dammam. And here and during the day, I am a Ramco employee. So I'm an employee in the Treasury Department. And then after that, I'm a football player. I was an ex-football player, and currently I'm a C license holder, a coach. I started my team in 2006, and currently we have around 74 players. We touched around 750 female, I would say. Now that we have more than just a women team, we have also a youth team and a basketball team because of Yusra. And soon I'll be next to you. I'll be doing my master degree in Barcelona, inshallah.
Wow, so, cool.
Yes. Cross your fingers. I'll be in Esade, hopefully doing my MBA program.
Fantastic. Excellent school. Yeah, well, we look forward to welcoming you. Brilliant. Thank you. Abir.
Yes. Now it's my turn.
Everyone. Roy, you want to go? So I'm Abir Al-Hmedi. I'm a full-time consultant, business management consultant in the morning, and at night I'm a basketball player as well. I'm the worst goalkeeper you can ever see, although I used to. So I'm jealous of Yusra already. And that's it.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, who was a great goalkeeper for the green team, either Abir. I'm Rihadh. I'm a football coach and a PE teacher. Actually, I'm a mother of 4 kids, and it's been 10 years while I playing football and volleyball. I just made my team from 2 years. until now. And my first participated to the green team for 2019, because I have a lot of program here in from Jeddah. I'm working with the neighborhood center, and it gives some program for youth girls and help society in different ways. So I found that very beautiful idea to play football and to make a lot of things to society. It's not about playing, so you can help people, you can just impact these young people, and you can make a lot of things. So it's about awareness and using plastic in the right way, and together with people to have the good ideas and raise their personality. So it's amazing how it was a very good experience.
اتكلم بقى شوي.
Hi,
Thank you. And Lujain, you're currently on mute. If you want to unmute yourself and introduce yourself.
Jane, unmute.
I'm not sure she
Hi.
hears it.
Can you hear me?
Now, yes.
Okay, so first of all, I want to take the opportunity to thank you for hosting us today. The Green team. It's been a while for us to be gathered in one place or like one platform. So hello everyone and Ramadan Kareem. Now it's Ramadan time. I'm not sure if you know about that. We fast these days. It's a holy month for Muslims. So my name is Lujain Kashgari. I got lucky to participate in the two like tournaments, the one in Copenhagen and then the other one in the finals in NYC. So it was really like a wonderful experience. For me, I did computer engineering at uni, and then I got employed in Saudi Aramco in the Eastern Province in Saudi Arabia. But I'm now in the US. I'm doing my master's. I think that's pretty much it. I founded Al Mamlaka football team for females, like in 2018, I guess. And thank God, like it's growing now. We're practicing. We used to practice every other day, but now with the current circumstances, we're trying to, adjust and do things from home.
Yeah, stay active.
Thank you so much. And thanks, sharing your incredible stories. And it's great to have you all here. And so as Maiken was saying, this is every Monday, Maiken and I, so Maiken obviously one of the co-founders of Global Goals World Cup, and myself as a self-proclaimed women's football activist and enthusiast. So we've come together, and a part of the Global Goals schedule, so it's a full schedule, taken trainings and videos and information and conversations online that you can view both on the Global Goals Facebook page, on Instagram, Twitter. And the idea behind the Clubhouse is really to try to continue to energize and mobilize and promote conversations and exchanges between Global Goals World Cup teams. So the weekly conversations that we have on a Monday, we've been doing them now since the beginning of lockdown, or at least lockdown here in Spain. And so we've had a number of teams. So we've had coaches on. We've had a coach from Katerina from Greece, who is running a refugee football team in Athens. We've had Ishita from India, from one of the teams in Goa. We've had who else? We have Viola from Uganda, and then last week we had several teams on from Jordan. It was we had about 4 teams on the same call, and so the idea is really that the key topic, as you've seen, is like how do women stay active and activists during this difficult time. And I guess that is the starting point for the conversation, but it's also a chance for us to dig a bit deeper about, you know, what's the situation of women's sport like in our respective contexts, what's the vision for women's sport, and how are we keeping engaged and connected with our teams during this difficult time. You know, of course, we look forward to hearing about what the situation is like in Saudi Arabia, and that's right now around the world. We are in lockdown, and we're using very creative ways to communicate and keep active and keep activist as well. So there's loads of really cool ideas coming out, which we discuss on the call, on the chat every Monday, and they're subsequently posted and shared across the team. So yeah, just that's kind of the premise of the call. So we're really happy to have you guys to talk about the journey since 2018. Already accomplished so much by the sounds of it. You've got 2 tournaments under your belt in Copenhagen and New York, and you have a wealth of experience. And it's what's interesting for me is that you're coming from very different backgrounds, from different sports even, but you're all united with this global goal around environment and climate change. So I think, yeah, for the conversation today, we really want to enable other Global Goals World Cup teams to understand a bit more about women's sport within Saudi Arabia, and also why did you choose this specific goal, and what are some of the concrete activities or examples that you're doing or that you have been doing to contribute to this goal. So Mike, is there anything else? There we go.
My goal too.
This is our goal, 15.
I'm jealous now.
Very impressive. And so obviously you shared a bit about the history of Team Greens, but maybe I don't know if you have a captain, or if anyone is willing to explain to us, why goal 15? Is this something that's very relevant, important in Saudi Arabia? Is it a passion project? How did you decide to choose this goal?
I might go ahead and elaborate on that even more. I'm not sure if you're aware about the 2030 vision. The Saudi Arabian vision for our country is basically revolving around the global goals. And one of the things that that needs the society in general to contribute is like the goal 15, I would believe, because it needs not only the government to participate in it, needs everyone. And we picked recycling because recycling needs to come from within, needs to be, everyone needs to be part of it. And answering your question as who's the captain, the vision was to pick a captain from every team. Like from every team, they picked the captain, and we're all captains and we are all leaders, and we kind of collaborate with each other and feed from each other and share knowledge. And that's how we become the agent of change in every city. So we need to increase the awareness of going green and recycling and all of that through, and this is just a different mean of spreading awareness through sports. And since both are new, not new, but I would say require a lot of attention, like it would be an interesting thought, like an amazing idea to grow both female sports and recycling habits both at the same time. It's just the revolution. Like this is how they want to increase awareness, both like simultaneously. If anyone wants to add.
Yeah, I guess to add on that, there was like a study made by the Saudi for All Federation, where they evaluated most of the goals, and so then they assessed the need for each goal, and based on that study, I remember there were statistics shared with us, and we have seen that goal 15 is really like there is a really room, like a big room of change in Goal 15, and especially like in Saudi Arabia, and it's doable in our society. We saw like the opportunity there.
And it's applicable across the whole country. Saudi Arabia is a big country. And like if let's say we'd say life under the sea, we wouldn't be able to apply it across the whole country. I think Goal 15 is not only because of the studies, it's just applicable throughout the whole country.
Very interesting. Yeah, brilliant. And so you talked about recycling as one of the main activities.
Yes.
Yeah, would you explain a bit more about what kinds of activities you're doing?
Yes, it's very easy to apply this idea about recycling, and it can be applied for everyone and for every family. You can use this things to just raise the awareness about it, because we are really suffering here from the bad using for plastic, and we can see how it's affect the environment and our lives. So we just take it so everybody can, from the young people to the children to older people, they can understand the idea, and we can just affect that goal on everybody.
Right, so it's like encouraging mindsets and habits to encourage more uptake of recycling.
And if I remember correctly, one of the mandatory requirements for global goals is that to have things that are doable, that cost no money, correct? And everyone can do it from their own house. So recycling was one of the things that definitely everyone can use. It's only changing a habit, although a habit would take a while for us to change, but us increasing ways, methodologies to cope with new ways of taking that extra step to help recycle. We did it through, we had multiple projects. I think Global Goals couldn't capture all of them because we were doing so much. And we had a lot of support from the community and society, and a lot like from the government as well. So yeah, and again, it cost
nothing,
like barely nothing. Yeah, exactly. Our budget was very low. And it was a challenge at the beginning, but any challenge would just make you think out of the box on how to accomplish, what ways can you do to spread awareness and make others believe and contribute.
Fantastic. And so right now, with the current corona health crisis, what's the situation like in Saudi Arabia? One of you could tell us. Are you in lockdown? Are there restrictions on movement? How is this impacting on your women's and your sports teams and your sports activities?
It depends to which city you're talking to.
Okay.
So for us here in Jeddah, you're allowed to go and like finish your necessities if you have to go out to the grocery store or so, until 5 p.m. So from I think 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. and then you're not allowed to go out. As for the question of how is it affecting our team, we obviously stopped practice. However, we're all working out at home, and just recently I started this Zoom session actually. It's completely for free for all the girls in our academy and their friends, even if they're not basketball players. They would just join and we'd work out together 35 minutes at least 3 times a week. We're doing it together on a personal level. I'm training like every day. So yeah, just like all over the world, I think we're all in this together, and we're all kind of having the same routine at home, same exercises. So yeah.
Even in Riyadh we have the same time limit, so we're it's recommended not to go out unless it's necessary from 9 to 5 p.m. Any event, any gathering, sports events are banned, so we have to work out from home. For my team, I think it affected it in a good way, kind of, because we used to only practice for 3 days a week. Now we practice 5, sometimes 6.
Okay.
Once the corona like news went out, we moved fast and we started doing kind of active trainings and YouTube videos, and we started following up with the players week by week. So I think it turned out well. The only thing it's missing the fun part. It's definitely different when you practice with the whole team.
For sure.
We have added a little bit of challenges between the players, where each player would do like a challenge, a specific kind of skill with the basketball, and then there are 4 players within the team. And that added a fun aspect to the whole thing. I think it's going very well so far, and I can't wait to go back to the field صراحة and see how did we improve or did we improve.
I miss my team so much. As soon as this finishes, I just want to go to practice.
Just to put everything into perspective. Just to put everything in perspective, we schools and government entities and work were like closed on March 8th. We had different lockdown terms and curfew throughout the past 2 months, I would say. We just currently switched to all I think all of the now that I'm hearing you guys, we all switched from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. to go out when necessary and to get all the necessities. But before that, most of the country was in total lockdown 24/7, where you cannot go out. It's only to the supermarket where you need to buy stuff, and it's with a lot of regulations. So that being said, many of us first were shocked with the not shocked, but I would say it was a different way of living. But then
changing a lot of things that week.
Exactly, yeah. So then we started coping, and I think we're all utilizing tools and applications, platforms to basically continue our daily activities, whether it was me, like we started regular practices every Monday, Wednesday and Saturday. During the same time, all the kids and ladies would go into Zoom. Again, you can see it across the teams. We're coping. Now it's no issues, just a different way of doing things. The element of having the team together, that face-to-face interaction is just the only thing that is missing.
Can I ask you something? Do you think what's going to look different when you come back to women's sports after this period of time? Do you think that we're bringing new things into the women's sports?
I do think sorry, Yusra, I just comment on that. I do think we're bringing a new concept into home training. So I've never done home training in my whole life. I've always gone to the gym, even if I'm doing simple moves. I would go to the gym there. Now I'm gonna cancel my membership for sure. I found out that we can do a lot at home, to be honest.
Not used for anybody.
Yeah. I would also add using technologies like applications. So training applications, using Zoom calls, like to talk.
Like I think, like I just got this idea today actually. So I think if there's, let's say, a gym that's only open in Jeddah but is well known across Saudi Arabia, they can actually offer their classes online. Like the class itself can be virtual and ongoing
classes.
in real life. And I think that would expand their business, whoever has a gym. On a personal level and between players, I think now that everyone has been taking care of their bodies within their homes, once they see how it affected their performance on the field, I think they will actually keep that habit and have more awareness into their wellness and like their individual homework, and how that would actually affect the way they play and what it brings to the whole team. I think that will show right after we finish this quarantine.
Can't agree more.
I will actually also say that for me, because when we started doing the online trainings every day for ourselves, I would take all the trainings, right? Because I wanted to feel what it was like, what we were giving to everyone else to train. It was, in a way, it was almost felt protective that I could, practice in my own living room. That nobody had to, that I didn't have to go to a club to practice on my football drills and skills. So it's been an interesting journey for sure. I think the whole thing about just doing it. I broke a glass yesterday. So
of course.
Juggling around in the small living room.
There's Jackie, one of the coaches. Her drills. I mean, I think they're for pros. And my lounge is so small that it's just like,
yeah, I guess we learn to create space in our homes.
Exactly.
Well, the smaller the space, the more skillful you need to be.
Exactly.
Yeah, we learn accuracy, I guess.
Well, that's another thing here in Saudi. We put a lot of effort and room for guests, I think. And I think after this Corona thing, everyone is rethinking how they structure their homes. A lot of
true, very true.
Change their guest rooms into gyms and stuff like
that. That's very true.
Let me show you. I don't know.
See, that's an ad.
Wow. There you go. That's my living room. And here are the cones.
Brilliant. I mean, hearing you all, I mean, you're all athletes, and some of you have your own clubs and academies, and you've clearly got extensive experience in sports, and I think the future vision for Saudi Arabia and women's sports, it looks really, really positive. And you guys are pioneers in opening up more opportunities for women in sports. So I think Mike and I, we would love to know what is the situation like for women in sport in Saudi Arabia, and what is your dream for female athletes in the country, and what do you think the future looks like?
I think our dreams are unfolding like right now. I think it's the best time to be alive right now in Saudi Arabia, because the government really is opening all the opportunities. Yes, we're pioneers in our own cities and in our own way and the space where we can work with, but also the government is supportive and they're opening up opportunities gradually. The future look promising, and honestly, people like Lujain, Maram, and everyone who is here are the ones who are inspiring the youth, and like consistently, like what's amazing about these ladies are their consistency in their sport, and I think that's what's gonna really impact the youth and give us like very promising players for our future. And I think the dream is really to see women compete globally and win the gold, not just compete.
Yes, I agree to that dream.
Exactly, because on a national level here in Saudi Arabia, before the coronavirus and all of that, and we started actually in 2019, where we had the first official game happening in Saudi, where ladies were competing across the country in one city. الكرة تجمعنا صح لجين, and that was a huge event. We got the first letters, the certificates that this game was played, so that was history in the making. Our first national team was formed ever, and they went and competed in Kuwait. This is our international appearance, and from that international appearance, it showed, well, actually no, our first international appearance was in Copenhagen. Yes. Thank you so much for being part of it. You actually witnessed history. Literally, Global Goals World Cup was the first ever international appearance for females in football like publicly. And then it was I believe in Kuwait. That was the second public appearance. We won 3rd place in there, and that kind of gave a push to our government to actually like go ahead and support even more. In New York, I think you saw like Princess Rima and Prince Wali, like everyone was there standing by our side. Lujane was there definitely, and Ro'a, and also
that was really amazing.
So having that,
I was in Kuwait as a basketball player in the first national team as well.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
so
dream come true.
All of that, like as Yusra said, it's all unfolding. Literally, in February 2020, we launched the first league in Saudi. It was supposed to start by the end of March, where teams will compete for a cup, and like hopefully we are training for it, and we know that everything will inshallah will go back to normal, and we will go ahead, and you can see that nothing has stopped, because their account and their motivation comes across every day, every week, sending us messages to keep the challenge, come on, register, do you need a coach, do you need something, do you want to improve? I was contacted to take the second license, so you see that even though we're stopping like our activities out of the house, but actually I would say that everything is being cooked at the moment, so as soon as everything opens, para, we're ready. So the plan is just being not the plan is there, the process is being cooked between us, and as soon as this coronavirus ends, we will be able to execute and go ahead. And as she mentioned, now after that we have launched the local thing, hopefully in a 3 years time we'll be able to reach out to compete internationally, and why not be in the World Cup later on.
We want to host the global goals, inshallah. We are looking for that, really. That would be amazing if we could do that.
So I think in the whole idea, and also a dream for us, is to be able to bring the Global Goals World Cup to Saudi Arabia. Also, how do you think, in the sense of getting teams together for World Cup? What would be some of your advices to other female teams to come and join a World Cup?
You mean forming the teams within Saudi or
within Saudi?
Yeah, I think we like sports enthusiasts are a lot here in Saudi. It's not going to be hard to form a team, especially that there are actually a lot of clubs and teams within like each city. So they're right there. I think they're just ready for the opportunity. It's not going to be hard to form anything.
Yeah, and plus we're here. The reason why we're sorry, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. So the beauty of the players, and especially the advanced, a little players, they've been only counting on their passion into football or basketball or any kind of sport. So like 4 years ago, we wouldn't have any other kind of support. No time, no money, no financials, no careers, nothing. So all of the players, all of the people who stuck to still plays, to still practice, have their passion. That's why it's very easy to find these people, because they're hardworking, they believe in what they want to do. So I wouldn't think you will have any problem.
Exactly, also, like all those people have been playing because they're passionate. Before even opportunities open up, they've been playing, they've been ready. So I think as soon as there's an opportunity, they'll be there.
Yeah, they were waiting for this for a long time.
Yeah.
I would like to add something so the population in Saudi Arabia is like more than 30 million, and 70% of that they're the youth or the young people. So engaging those young people in such activities or such World Cup or competition would be really like with a great impact. And I think it's really like this is the time to have the World Cup hosted in Saudi Arabia, because we as Saudis want to show the world our culture and what we have in Saudi. Like us, we want to show ourselves, our culture. We want to get
Like this.
yeah, like the jalabia she's wearing. I guess this would be like a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Also,
also I would like to add
Go ahead.
that not only that you will have, imagine with little to no support, I believe we were around 27 teams across the country. Each one had like from 10 to like, I don't know. I told you in my own team, me and Lejane used to live in the same city. So that's two different teams. Her team, I think they're around 30. My team is around 74. So you can only imagine. And that's with little to no support. Imagine now that we have all those opportunities, all those support. Of course, you'll see a lot of people just engaging as soon as they hear something big is happening, such as that. Plus,
Also,
it's not only football. It's not only football. It's more than just football. So they're actually volunteering, helping society. You know, it's the concept is
Every
just
field, yes, in the
Yeah.
sport.
Would one of you just dive into a little bit about some of the activations, some of the things that you did around plastic? The other day, I heard about a team that they convinced some supermarkets that when people return plastic bottles, you normally get some money returned, right? But here they gave them seeds to plant. So what are some of the things that your team has been in when you started doing? I remember seeing some art installations that you did with the plastic bottles in the beginning.
I think
from my side, I would say in our team, once they basically bring their plastic bottles, I told them that we'll do an art with it in one of the parks where they have a football field. So basically, whenever they bring plastic bags, I arranged with the park itself to have not a dumpster, but a place where they put the plastics, and everyone from around the community will just go and drop the plastics over there, and they would get a water bottle that has the global green goal. That was one of the things. And then out of all the water bottles, I asked all the kids and all the families to come color them, and then we designed the whole field. You know the شنو اسمه الشبك؟
Net.
The nets surrounding the field with a design like a tree design. So we colored it all in green and brown. So we created just an atmosphere as if this was a green field, like filled with trees. That was one of them. And then we were given by one of the supermarkets. They were sponsoring the whole green teams. It was not only from in our city. They gave us plastic bags, and we were replacing plastic bags with the reusable bags. We had a lot of them. Thank Carrefour for that. They were very, very good supporters. They gave us loads of it. The society was just replacing plastic bags with the reusable bags. We in our Saudi football, like the professional league, one of the teams, the Rihadh, basically had an ad at the beginning, and then it was شنو اسمها لما يكونون الهلال والنصر؟ لا كان واحد يعني it was a classico. It was the classico. So imagine, I think there was more than 50,000 person around, and it was aired on TV, so everyone was watching, and they had the sign of global goals. Not only that, not only the sign of awareness while they're standing before the game started, they actually asked a lot of volunteers and people who were watching to collect the water bottles. They went to, I believe also in Riyadh, they went to one of the biggest national parks. They asked everyone to volunteer to collect all the water bottles. We have companies that are recycling that contributed with us as well. It's Naqa, I believe, where they located certain areas, and we were all asking our supporters and people who would love to be part of this movement to dump everything over there. And this, like, it started from that, and it was not an orphan thought. It continued. It actually continued. I think only now that some of the activities stopped because you're actually supposed to be outside to do certain stuff. Now, I think in every home you would see that concept of having the water bottle in or the plastic things in a certain dumpster to get it disposed in the right area. Some neighborhoods already switched to being green. We have some of the local sheriffs who were involved and would like to do that. Also, on the not only going green with water bottles, we have the planting the trees. So we have a lot of volunteers that want to plant trees in some of the desert area and cleaning up the roads. So you can only imagine 15 leaders. It was not just a player, 15 leaders across the country, and where each one is Lujane, I remember, went to a park and had all the kids in the park collecting all the bottles.
We played scavenger hunt.
Exactly.
Where the kids can, you know, collect the bottles and clean the park and learn from that. And then we had like a talk with the kids about the recycling concept. And what I like about it is that the mothers were really engaged, and they were asking, how can I like develop a system in my house to like teach the kids like the 3 R's and recycling and plastics and all that. So it was really fun.
Wow, incredible. I think that the thing that is, I mean, it's so remarkable how you guys have stayed together as a team for, I mean, about it's a couple of years now, and so many positive actions and steps that you guys are taking, kind of driven by sport and as a team. And yeah, it's just hugely powerful and so inspiring to hear about.
Lizzie, I think there's a little battle going on right here, right? I mean, because suddenly you hear that somebody got 50,000 people on a stadium to pay attention to Global Goals 5 and talk about collecting all the plastic. So isn't that one for FC Barcelona to kind of pick up on, and that inspired by, we would like to try to think about Goal 15?
Especially as you talk about the El Clasico, and I've seen El Clasico in a few different countries around the world, and it really does attract thousands of fans.
Viewers.
Yeah, exactly. So I understand it's incredibly captive. Maiken, I'm going to take that challenge away with me.
We miss watching games and Clásicos now.
Yeah.
I have a final question for you guys, and just like quick responses. What when you think about the Global Goals World Cup tournaments or the events in Copenhagen and New York, what are some of your favorite highlights or moments?
Positive vibes of people from different countries coming together and celebrating as if we're one. Like I remember I made a couple of friends from Greece and from people from different countries, and it was as if I already know them. We just spontaneously talked and had fun and had a good time.
True.
And I think those connections and those moments were like very cherished in this experience.
Yeah, I agree. The social engagement for me as well, and I formed connections and friends who are. So one of the girls I met there in New York, and I know that she lives in DC, and I live in DC, so now we're friends.
Oh, wow.
By coincidence we met, and then now we're really like good friends, and she's my neighbor now. So
Nice.
Amazing.
Wow.
Amazing
I
thing
think
about
to me it
other
was
people. Mm.
sorry. I think to me it was hearing the story of other teams. To be honest, I've never thought that women face the same obstacles all around the world. It amazed me. I thought you kind of think sometimes that you're the only one suffering, but when you hear stories from all around the world and how
yeah.
female sports is not appreciated as it's supposed to be, it inspires you to push more, and like it inspires me to put more efforts into women's sport here in Saudi.
Roha?
Yes, it's the same thing about socialing and meeting other nationalities, team and people from around the world. It was amazing thing to how we been gathering for one thing and one specific goal, and just to empowering women. This is the most important thing for me either, and to meet coaches and how they facing their challenge in their country, and there's some people fighting for their idea. So it was amazing to hear about that. We're not alone in this.
And Maram,
Mm.
any highlight for you?
I would say that it's amazing to see how people are creative, and female are very. I would say they're excelling when it comes to finding a solution out of any circumstances. So going to Copenhagen, I would remember all the teams and what they have done. The the yellow team and all of that, like it resembles, like it just made me think differently and look at aspects and way of doing more good by just revealing small resources. The way of scoring was just absolutely
Maram's dropped off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we lost.
Will you see if she needs to be
You're
logged in?
disconnected.
That was a moment for me to hear that the point system and then
I
die.
promise you with a closure. With a closure.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I will say that, as you also said, I think it is Mom, we would love to hear what you were saying at the end, because
Is she back?
you got
I'm here. So the way
Welcome
of
back.
scoring, the way of scoring, I would say that I mimicked it in many of the activities that I'm doing. That also, okay, you love sport and you're passionate about it, but if you look at the bigger picture and how you make it impactful, that's what really matters. And people are willing to do a lot of things when they're having fun. So yeah, I loved it in every single way, let's say.
That is a beautiful note to end on, and whoever has the ball, hold it up, because then I'm going to ask Marie also to take a picture of all of us. Marie, you have a ball without air.
Oh,
Mine's not a real ball, but it's
The world.
Our home.
Here we go. Where is it? Here we go.
Where do we have it? So I think, like you were saying today, I think we have a beautiful moment right now in time where we can feel that there are changes happening in every country that we touch, and I think then for all of us really to embrace and understand that this is really a moment for us to keep growing women's football. and keep growing it in all the way that we think that women's sports should grow. I mean, it's not just one way. It can be all our creative minds together and thinking, how do we want to develop it to be as strong, as powerful as we want it to be? So I really, really appreciate the conversation today. Is anyone want to end this conversation by saying something that is from your country to the rest of the world?
I'm really appreciate what you're doing, and thank you for all your efforts for this global goals.
Yes.
You're doing
And
well.
empowering women as well.
On a positive note, it allowed us to connect with each other.
Yeah.
And something I want to tell to the rest of the world is Saudi women are coming.
Beware.
We're looking forward to seeing you guys in our country, to welcome you guys, to host you guys, to give you guys a good time, and let's empower each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll
See you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ramadan Kareem.
Ramadan Kareem.
Ramadan Kareem.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Ramadan Kareem.
Bye.